Hey, everybody. Let me turn this chat on. Here we go. Got a couple people in here. Sorry, I know there was a few more waiting, but I was trying to get this set up so that you guys didn't have to really wait much once we started. Here we go. So, the Ghislaine Maxwell documents have been released, the ones that she fought tooth and nail not to have released because she is trying to defend herself against, she's in according to the feds, she's in Brooklyn. According to me, I've never seen a single mug shot of her, and no one else has yet either. So, according to me, she's not in Brooklyn. But according to the feds, she's in a Brooklyn jail cell, same jail Jeffrey Epstein conveniently hung himself in. We'll say, okay, we don't want to get kicked off right in the beginning. So it's about 465 pages if you're interested to find it on your own. Hi, Blessed Baby. If you're interested in finding it on your own, it's at npr.com. And let's see, I believe, it's in the middle of an article. It's viral. You can't miss it. So listen, guys, share this because right now they're killing channels like mine. You know that yesterday they took down over in the last 3 days, they've purged thousands of channels and they're all like mine. And at any point in time, this little hobby of mine could be gone. So the more we get this out, they're not going to share this. So the more that you guys share, I don't ever ask for that. And I'm not corny and I don't like doing it, but I'll do it when I know it's important. And I think people need to see this. So let's do it. I think about hang on, I want to go to page 6 because that's really kind of where everything starts. Okay, one is Ghislaine Maxwell. It just talks about confident or another issue. You have to be wary. G Maxwell confidential. Okay, let's see here. You can't give a nonverbal response. In other words, nodding yes or no. They need to hear the verbal. They're just giving her instructions on how to answer. They ask her if she's on any medications that would inhibit her ability to remember and give a truthful testimony. Remember, she's being charged with perjury in this very. In this very case, guys, right now, part of her federal case includes a perjury charge involved in this very. It was a deposition lawsuit for a deposition for a lawsuit, and as Leon says there, whatever his name, he says no one. He's a lawyer, but he says he's never heard of anyone being federally charged for perjury on a deposition. But I figure they're just trying to get everything they can on her right now to keep her where she's at. So it asks for her address and her date of birth, yada, yada. And then it goes on to talk about the subject matter of this question is confidential, and I'm designing it as confidential. I just want to make that clear. So don't delay the deposition. I will step out of the room, but I think it's important to lay the record. And then it goes on. Let me get down to. They ask her about her house. She says it's in the process of being sold. Oh, there she is. Hi, Nicola. All right. For the purpose of the record, if there's something I have to ask you later, remember something else or need to correct it, you can do that. They give her every out, you guys. Basically, that's what they do in the beginning. They give you every out. Like, here's your opportunity. Even at the very end of this, if you remember you said something and it's not right, you can still go back and fix it type stuff. Okay, so there's no need to perjure yourself in a deposition. There's no at the time, other than the perjury itself. She wasn't facing any jail. She was just facing a lawsuit. She was facing the loss of money. So. And her reputation, really. So it goes on to say, so Miss Maxwell, when did you first recruit? Hang on, let me pull it up so you can see it. Where am I? Okay. There I am. Okay, so it says Miss Maxwell, no, what you guys see? You see 9. So there we go. Okay. Right there. When did you first recruit a female to work for Mr. Epstein? And then her lawyer again objects to the question. And the person in charge says you can answer the question. She says, first of all, can you please clarify the question? I don't understand what you mean. Hi, Nikki. By female. I don't understand what you mean by recruit. please be more clear and specific. See how they do this? Okay, liberals are very well known for this, guys. They're very well known for using words, changing the meaning of words to suit their situation. Bill Clinton, what is? You know what I mean? Literally, the word is what he said tripped him up and made him lie about Monica Lewinsky. So, I mean, in all honesty, they're known for that. Okay, so it says, are you a female? Is that the sex that you are? That weird question. But yes, she says, I am a female. And they said, well, that's what I'm referring to, a female. And I'm asking you, when the very first time you recruited a female to work for Jeffrey Epstein. Again, she says, I don't understand what female. I'm a 54-year-old woman. Do you see this shit? So she's going to play these little word games in the beginning until they start pinning her against a wall, I'm sure. I'm not making it any age female that recruited, or any age of a female that you recruited to work for Mr. Epstein. Again, I was somebody who hired a number of people to work for Mr. Epstein, and hiring is one of my functions. And when is the first time you hired someone to work for Mr. Epstein, a female? Her answer, finally, as best as she can recollect, a woman the age probably of 40 or 50 was sometime in 1992. See how she makes sure to throw that 40 or 50 in? There has never been a 40 or 50-year-old woman found around Jeffrey Epstein in his house, at his parties, or any other thing except for who? Ghislaine, the girl he didn't sleep with. So let's get, well, not without a minor in the room anyway. She is accused of being part of it, but all right. How long did you work for Mr. Epstein? I started working for him. Answer, I started working for him at some point in 92, and the nature of my work relationship with him changed over time. So from around 2002 to 2003, the work lessened considerably. All right. So basically, as I started to sleep with him, it became less work and more part of my relationship. But anyway, good question. When did you, and then the lawyer cuts in, can I interject for a moment if we're talking about background? And then the other lawyer says, I'm in the middle of a question, let me finish, and then you can interject. This is going to be a long one, guys. So I hope you're ready, because we got to find the dirt. So when you say 2002, 2003, the work lessened, when did you complete? Oh, I just totally fucked that up. Oh, there it is. When did you complete working for Mr. Epstein? When was the last time you were hired by him? The last date? She says, I believe I was still, that goes really fast, sorry. Helping him in a very nominal way, maybe an hour or two a year, sometime in 2008, 2009. All right, I'm going to skip along in a minute here. Hi, everybody that I missed. Thank you very much for coming. Please share this. I'm sorry, I don't ever ask for shares, but you know they're purging channels, and mine right now is so at risk. I am already completely demonetized. The first time I got monetized was 3 months ago, and they've already went through all my old videos and demonetized them. You know I do this for a hobby, not for money, so it is what it is with that. But if you share it, they can't beat that. Like, the algorithm can't stop when people are pressing the like button and share it going up in rank. That's how it's built to work. So the only thing that we can do right now is if you go to Google and you Google my channel, it no longer comes up. So obviously they're watching this channel, especially now that I'm going live again. I was the Kanika Jenkins one. That was the very first live they ever cut off in the middle of a live. So let's dig. All right. So I assumed your first questions were going to be going into more sensitive areas. I will leave it up to you. If this is general background, it will be not designated as confidential. So it goes back to say, so we'll keep it as confidential. So that means obviously they're going to get into some shit here in a minute. Let's see here. Just let me scan through it real quick. There's 500 pages of this. So, okay, how old was the youngest female you ever hired to work for Jeffrey? Lawyer objects to the foreman and foundation. Ghislaine Maxwell, her answer, confidential. Question, you can answer. Question, that's not a question. Oh, maybe that's the guy that's running it. Sorry. You can answer. She says, I have not any idea exactly of the youngest adult adult, she's got to throw that in there, employee that I hired for Jeffrey. The guy says, when you say adult employee, did you ever hire someone under the age of 18? Question, or sorry, excuse me. Answer, never. Now, we all know that's bullshit because she's very well known for literally parking outside of high schools, malls, any place where young women hung out, and she would literally get out of the car and run over to these crowds of girls and give them her business card and tell them, you certain girls, if you want to be a model or if you want to make money in massaging, so as make $200 here, call this number. And she'd get their number, and that's where that black book full of thousands and thousands of numbers in every country that he had a house in, every area he had a home in, he had a list of girls to call so he could have his 3-a-day massage. It's crazy. This man, there's probably, his victims are uncountable at this point, put it that way. And she's the reason he was able to do that. She's the one that was the scout. And that's why they're going after her so hard. Okay, sorry. It says, did you ever bring someone under 18 and then it says invite someone under the age of 18 to Jeffrey's home or any of his homes? And of course, the lawyer objects to form and foundation. And then they ask, can you repeat the question? And then he repeats it. And then he says, same objections. And she says, I have a number of friends that have children and friends of mine that have kids. And in the invitation of my friends and their kids, I'm sure I may have invited some of my friends' kids to come. Anyone that is not a friend of yours, any female under the age 18, did you invite them into Jeffrey's home, to come to Jeffrey's home? Again, lawyer objects. Again, as I said, I'm not aware of inviting anyone other than friends of mine who have children into the home. All right, here we go. We're getting to the dirt. Did you invite Virginia Giuffre to come to Jeffrey Epstein's home when she was under the age of 18? Lawyer objects to objects to foundation. Hang on, I'll get back up there. Okay. Virginia Roberts held herself out as her answer is, Virginia Roberts held herself out as a masseuse and invited herself to come and give a massage. Okay, so if you guys don't know the dirt in this, okay, I'm going to give you maybe a piece of information you don't know. If you're a Trump supporter or not, it doesn't really matter because it was one of the very big reasons why Trump kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago. But Virginia Roberts and her father both worked at Mar-a-Lago, okay? She worked in the spa and her father was like a janitor. And what happened was, Ghislaine and Jeffrey was going there to Mar-a-Lago to hang out for the parties, but Ghislaine was going to the spa because he had sent her there to find young girls to give him massages, just like at the high schools, just like everywhere else. Only when the first time Ghislaine and whatnot had approached Virginia, and it was that very day that she ended up staying with them and never went back. Well, her father told Trump about this, that Epstein and his little procurer had picked up his 15-year-old daughter as a masseuse, and now she was living with them, and there was all this, concern of what was really going on. Her father, from her father. And so that if anybody says Trump because of that information, banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago from that point on. Okay? So tidbits, if you've read all the many lawsuits, you learn things like that little bit of information. So my question is, did you invite her Virginia Roberts, when she was under the age of 18 to come to Jeffrey Epstein's home? Again, the lawyer objects. Again, Virginia Roberts was a masseuse, she says. I'm not asking if she was a masseuse. I'm asking if you invited her to come to Jeffrey Epstein's home. Okay, so you see how they play fuck? Like they waste so much of our taxpayer time and money with this word game. Again, there'll be no course to have a conversation with Virginia unless she held herself out to be a masseuse. She's saying, I would have never come across Virginia Giuffre if she had not said, I'm a masseuse. She was 17 and she was performing massages at Mar-a-Lago. But she was not, she wanted to be a masseuse. And they actually, if you read more into the last lawsuit, Virginia's lawsuit, it says that Ghislaine and Jeffrey offered to put her through masseuse school so that she could become certified and then could fly around on the planes and make real good money being a traveling masseuse. And that was their trick to get her to come stay with them. And then the very first night when they found out about all the sexual abuse that she had endured, they decided to use that as a way to manipulate her, and they had a threesome with her. And from that point on, she did anything she was told. Read her, she's coming out with a book, but she also already has one that's out. But she's coming out with a new one that's a lot more detailed. So anyway, again, I repeat, she was a masseuse in the form as my job. This is just corny. She came as a masseuse. I can't wait till the lawyer starts getting nasty. Okay, so it says, again, I did not invite Virginia Roberts. She came as a masseuse. She's Nicola. They sure should, yo. So who invited her to come as a masseuse? She just showed up at the front door? Now they're getting smart with her. Like, come on. Lawyer objects. Miss Roberts' house. She's gonna see like this. They've already practiced this. They've already practiced. What are you gonna say if you get asked this? And they tell her, say Miss Roberts held herself out as a masseuse, and that's all she keeps repeating because she knows if she says anything else, she may slip up and let out just a little tiny piece of what the truth is, and it won't be anything to do with that. So she has to just keep repeating the line that she's told to by the lawyers. God, my landlord is supposed to come here today and replace a window in my bedroom, guys. And I just know I'm going to have this terrible luck and he's going to show up while I'm doing this live. But I was waiting for these papers to drop since 8 o'clock this morning. So, all right. Bear with me. Okay, let's see. Miss Roberts held herself out, and her mother drove her to the house. They're saying Miss Roberts' mother, maybe that's because you said you had a legitimate job for her, and you told her mother that you and Mr. Epstein intended on putting her in school. You were going to put her in massage school. That's exactly what her mother's testimony is. Anyway, when did you first meet Virginia Roberts? She says, I don't have a recollection of the first meeting. Oh, here it is, guys. Do you recall a meeting meeting her at Mar-a-Lago? See, come to KAT30420's channel because she knows the whole story. Because I don't talk shit that I haven't actually read with my own eyes. Anyway, like I said, I don't have a recollection of meeting Miss Roberts. So you recall Miss Roberts being brought to the home by her mother? Is that your testimony? She says, that's my testimony, and that's the first time you met her. So basically, there she perjured herself right there because Trump already told her about the meeting at Mar-a-Lago. It's right here. Like I said, I don't recall meeting her the first time. I do remember her mother bringing her to the house. Are you a member at Mar-a-Lago? She answers, no. Have you visited Mar-a-Lago? Yes. Did you visit Mar-a-Lago in the year 2000? Answer, I'm pretty sure I did. And question, when Miss Roberts arrived at home with her mother, what happened? At the home with her mother, Jeffrey's home, what happened? See, I told you, Virginia's mother said she spoke to her. She said she was going to take care of her and put her in school and all this. Virginia's mother was poor. Virginia had been molested by multiple members of her family. So Virginia's mother looked at this like a way to give her daughter everything she couldn't. You know what I mean? Like, this woman thought she was handing her daughter over to a couple that was going to put her daughter into a major masseuse school, and she would come out with a career that she could, have the rest of her life. Anyway, did you introduce Miss Roberts to Jeffrey Epstein, it says. Oh, and it says God, why does my thing do that? Anyway, it says, so you recall, hang on a second. I'm just going to start using the arrows. Here we go. Did you participate? Hang on. I spent the entire time talking to Virginia's mother, and she says, did you not walk her up and introduce her to Mr. Epstein? I just said no. Did you participate in a massage this first time when she first came to the home and you were speaking with her mother? She was in the home. Is that correct? You brought her into the home? The lawyer says objection to the foundation. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to catch your messages at the same time. I'll stop in a minute and see if you guys have anything you want to say. I will repeat again. I was standing outside with her mother, so very difficult for me to do anything else at the time. So no, I did not take her upstairs. Question, did you participate? Virginia lied 100% about, this is her answer. Hang on. About absolutely everything that took place in that first meeting. She lied repeatedly, often, and it is just awful, fantastic. Is an off. Wow. She is just completely flipping it. Like she's denying that there was ever. And why would she be at the house? Well, I mean, if everything up until that point is the truth, why would someone start lying from that point on? I guess I just don't understand. If someone was going to make something up about you, you'd think they'd start making it up like, all the way from the beginning of the story. 42% of the story wouldn't be true and then the rest be wrong. I find it convenient that every time she was involved in a sex act or involved in bringing one of these girls to him and handing them off to him 3 times a day, which he demanded, I think she in her head is just blocked out. Like, I'm going to refuse ever fucking acknowledging that. I'm never going to admit I did any of that. It was all him. He's dead now. All I did was, help these girls. And that's what she says she did, which is ridiculous. And I'm so sick of seeing all this shit in the news about these billionaires and their ties to Epstein. How about you sit down and let these victims start telling who raped them? Who did they have to sleep with for money? Start picking out the actual pedophiles, give them a book full of all these motherfuckers and say, come on, who did what? So that we can actually start indicting and putting away these pigs that are in our politics, they're in government, they're in church, they're in business, they're in everywhere. They're just everywhere. They're in, fashion, they're in Hollywood. God. Anyway, she spent the entire. I'm just going to scroll through for a second and see what we got. All right, because we have 400 pages, and I know there's going to be some. All right, here we go. Do not answer. Okay, it says, did you ever participate from the time period of 1992? Did you ever participate in a massage with Jeffrey Epstein and another female? Lawyer is going to now object, obviously. And he goes on to say, again, to some extent, you're asking for some sort of illegal activity as you've construed in connection with this case. I don't have any problem with you asking the question to the extent these questions involve consensual acts between adults. Frankly, they are none of your business, and I will instruct the witness not to answer. She says this case involves sex trafficking and sex abuse. Questions about her having interactions with other females is relevant to this case, and she needs to answer these. See, I knew they were going to start getting pissed off now, yo. I knew it. He says, confidential question. Let's see. Miss whatever his name is says, I'm instructing her not to answer. She says, then we will be back here again. Have you ever given a massage to Mr. Epstein with a female that was under the age of 18? Oh God, yes, you know it. Clinton's top of the list. You know it. Anyway, can you repeat the question? Yes. Have you ever given a massage? And so they repeat it. No, she says. Have you ever observed Mr. Epstein having a massage given by an individual, a female, who was under the age of 18? She says no. She has perjured herself again multiple times now. So that's why they're hitting her with perjury, because she lied about all of this. Again, I have friends that have children. Look, she went back to the friends that have children, yo! Oh my God. All this time later, she's bringing up, I have friends that have children. Wow. I want to know how many of her friends brought their kids over to Jeffrey Epstein's house. Please speak out. Are you one of Ghislaine Maxwell's friends who brought your child over to Jeffrey Epstein's house? Maybe you ought to get some help. You might want to sit your child down and ask him some questions. It says, I'm not talking about friends, I'm talking about individuals. He goes into telling her he wants to strike the question. This is all lawyer crap. Hold on. He says, have you ever observed a female under 18 at Jeff Epstein's home who is not a friend, a child, one of your friend's children? Again, I can't testify that because I have no idea what you're talking about. She is so ridiculous, you guys. Wow. She is like clearly out of her mind. Did she think that because she was like famous that she was not going, like they were just going to automatically believe her? They weren't going to take evidence and facts into, into hand. Oh, wow. Anyway, let's keep going. Are you familiar with the police report? Here we go. Let's read this. Are you familiar? Hang on. Okay, there we go. Are you familiar with the police report that was used in this matter? The investigation on Jeff Epstein has been produced as a document in this matter. She says, I have seen a police report. Maxwell Exhibit 1 police report marked. The police report that you have in front of you. Can you turn to page 28 of that report? The numbers are on the top right-hand corner, in case you can't see. You will see some redactions in this report, Miss Maxwell. The redacted information is redacted because it reveals the name of a minor, someone who's under the age of 18. On page 28 in the third paragraph, about halfway down, it says, blank stated, she performed the massage naked. At the conclusion of the massage, Epstein paid blank $200 for the massage. He explained, I know you're not comfortable, but I will pay you if you bring some girls. He told her the younger the better. Blank stated once tried to bring a 23-year-old to Epstein, and he stated the female was too old. Huh? See? Have you heard Mr. Epstein use the phrase, the younger, the better? She says, I have no recollection of hearing that. Question, have you used the phrase in talking to blank and asking her to recruit females for Mr. Epstein? The younger, the better. Her lawyer objects, and then she says, first of all, can you break down the question part? He says, have you used the phrase the younger the better in speaking to blank? Guys, I think blank is Virginia, just so you know, because Virginia was the first one. Actually, you know what? No, she wasn't. I've seen the girl in the documentary that made the first never mind, forget I said that. There was a documentary, and the girl and her stepmother, actually, you can hear the phone call when she called the police, and then they went down to the police department, and then she brought in some other girls that were also interested in making a report, and so there's like 4 girls on tape that are all part of Palm Beach investigation. Oh, I know, phenomenal. Listen, that's crazy nowadays. Yeah, you literally you might as well have video evidence, or they're not going to believe. Somebody is going to doubt you. Somebody's going to call you a liar. All right, so let's see here. Keep going. Need to straddle that question in a different. I was present, and the people that gave Jeffrey, men and women who get, bullshit. All right, question. Never in any time, in your time at any of the Jeffrey Epstein's home, were you present when a female under the age of 18 was there to give Jeffrey Epstein a massage? The lawyer objects, and she says, first of all, I said when I was present, and he says, it's a yes or no. And she says, no, it is not. And he goes, you can provide the question in full, but please provide yes or no as the initial matter. She says, I cannot answer yes or no. It's not bounded by time. It's entirely possible I could have been in a room or even in the vicinity of Palm Beach when somebody came, and I would not know. How would I know when someone was in the house? There is no way I can know. Did you stay in Jeffrey Epstein's home when you were in Palm Beach most of the time? She says, hang on a second. Where'd it go? Did you observe females at Jeff Epstein's home that were laying out topless in the back of the house? In other words, without a shirt on. She answers, so that's just another of Virginia's lies, she says. So let's be clear. At the time I was there and present frequently at the house, it was unusual to see people without their clothes on. Question, he says. You say unusual. Did you observe people without their clothes on at Jeff Epstein's home? She says, can I answer? Sometimes in the privacy of the house or the swimming pool, I have seen people from time to time take off their top. I have seen people from time to time do that. Very unusual. Naked people around the people at frequent period of that time I have never seen. Question, were the people under 18? Answer, as I was saying, people when I was in the house were of adult age. If they were children, friends of mine, or family, she did that friends and family shit again. I swear my computer goes crazy every time she says it. All right, let's keep going because I want to find the good shit. Because I know that she's accused of a lot of nasty shit. And that's what people don't really know. They just think she just went out and picked girls. Like she was involved with it, like some sadistic, like, yeah, exactly. It's some Satanist type shit, guys. Like some sadistic stuff they were doing. All right, hang on a second here. My job included hiring people, of course. When you say adult professional massage therapist, that's what they're calling them. Adult professional massage therapist. Boy, these liberals know how to spin words, man. There was nothing adult nor professional about a 17-year-old girl plucked straight out of her high school that didn't have a massage certificate, who literally was only doing it because her mother thought she was going to give her a better life. It's insane. All right, let's keep going. Did you ever hire a masseuse under 18? Again, I don't hire massage therapists. She says, it's not my job. You just said you did. You just said you hired a massage therapist for Jeffrey Epstein. I'm asking you if you hired one that was under 18. When I meant hire, I didn't mean hire in the way you are doing it. What I say is that I went to spas, just like Mar-a-Lago, and I met people. And if they did home visits, Jeffrey would then, in fact, hire them. I'm not responsible for hiring someone, and they're not full-time. So it's not a correct characterization. Did you ever, your term is meet, did you ever meet a person that was under the age of 18 that Jeffrey then hired as a masseuse? Her lawyer again objects. First of all, Virginia Roberts, who you were referring to, was a masseuse age 17. We all now know. So your story that you keep pushing out to the press that she was 15 years old, you and I both know is a lie, correct? You're not, or he says, you are not sentencing my question. She says, you and I both know that was a lie, correct? And he says, you're not answering my question. I'm asking you whether you ever met a female under the age of 18 that Jeff then hired as a masseuse. She says, I can only talk about who clearly was a masseuse age 17, or was a massage age 17, and masseuse was Virginia. What was Virginia? Did you meet her and then introduce her to Jeffrey? She says, I don't know. I already testified that I don't recall meeting her. I told you where they met, Mar-a-Lago. That's why she's keeping it all hush hush. Hold on a second. I got to go back. There we go. Here we go. Mix. All right, so this is some redacted stuff. They're still keeping names out of this. It says, when did you first meet blank? And it goes, how old was she? Oh my God, is it possible she was 13 years old when you first met her? Oh my God, they got a 13-year. I know they got two 12-year-olds. He got two 12-year-olds sent to him by the guy who owns Victoria's Secret, flown to him for his birthday, the perverted motherfucker. That's why I hope he rots in hell. But look at, guys, it says, is it possible she was 13 years old when you first met her? The lawyer obviously objects. She says, I have no idea how old she was. Wow, hang on. I have no idea, she says. I have no idea how old she was when I first met her. Did she look like a child when you first met her? Girl, listen, anybody on here that has had a 13-year-old child, I want you to think of that child at 13 and ask yourself, is there any way that anyone could have mistaken that child for 18? I'm sorry, but I, I've got I have four girls who at 13, I don't think any of them looked much older than 16, let alone over 18. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This is crazy. Okay, I don't remember what she looked like at the time she was in the house. How many years have you known her? And it says I can only recall the last time I saw her. Triplets, John Luke got them. Oh, yeah, three of them. John Luke. Yep, John Luke Picard. That guy. No, I'm just kidding. Whatever. The John Luke guy with the long, he's the modeling agent, right? There's been so many of these reports. I've literally spent nights and nights and nights, and I hate pumping this information into my head, but at the same time, I'm glad that I know it for my own, like, so that the news can't lie to me. The news can't tell me one thing because I've read it with my own eyes. Here we go. I would not remember if blank was on the plane or not. Did you ever have sex with blank? No, she says. Did you ever observe Jeffrey having sex with blank? No, she says. Were you aware that Jeffrey was having sex with blank when she was 13 years old? I would be very shocked and surprised if that were true, she said. Again, lying. Hang on. Were you aware that Jeffrey was having sexual contact with blank when she was there? Oh, hang on a second. I just read that one. Were you in the house when blank was in the house in a private area with Jeffrey Epstein? Lawyer objects. She asked to repeat the question. Were you ever in the Palm Beach home when Jeffrey Epstein was in the house with blank? I've already testified that I have met her and that she was there. I don't understand what your question is asking. So you have never seen blank. Is that your testimony? Oh, wow. Really, Nicole? Damn, we'll have to talk sometime because I wanted to do a video on grooming because of course it's a big thing, especially with like this whole sugar daddy thing and everything. Some girls think that's just like that they can separate the two, that they can keep it all about the money and they don't realize that like they're being groomed and it just, yeah, we should talk sometime then. Fuck, you could definitely help me out in that area. All right, let's see here. So she's starting to get a little edgy. She's like, I've already said I don't recall all the times I've seen her, and I have no memory of all that. Have you seen blank in the house with Jeffrey Epstein? Objects again. I just told you I don't recall. How were you involved in an orgy? Or were you ever involved in an orgy with blank? So obviously, what the story is this 13-year-old girl that they have basically put in bed with Jeffrey Epstein now and have put in her space because she said, yes, I've seen her. Yes, I've met her. Yes, she was in the home. They're now that they've got them both pinned down, now they threw it at her and said, so were you in an orgy with her? She says, no, absolutely not. And it says, can you tell me, do you know an individual by the name of blank? She says, I do. How did you meet blank? At some point, she was a friend of Jeffrey's, and I recall meeting her at some point. Did you hire her? First of all, I don't hire girls like that, so let's be clear. I already testified to that. I have no idea what you're referring to. When you say girls like that, what do you mean? I hire people who are professional. If you're asking if I hired somebody to do what, I don't know what you're talking about. I hired people to work in homes. So, oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's some good stuff. Okay, because this one, Jeffrey Epstein literally bought this girl off of her parents out of the Ukraine when she was 13 years old. Let's talk about it. I think, yes, 13. Could have been 12. Nadia Marcinkova, who has changed her name since to something similar, but it's not exactly that. She actually still works for Jeff Epstein's brother. She works for his real estate company. Yeah, the other one works for the airplane, and this one works. The girl who's married to the NASCAR driver, the other procurer, who we'll talk about soon. Oh, he's here. Give me a second, okay? I'm gonna take my dog. Hang on. This sucks. How am I gonna do this? My landlord's here and he's gotta do the window. All right, guys, listen. Come back in 15 minutes. Let me just get this window changed. Keep your eyes out. I'll be live again in 15, okay? Sorry.